Alert Podcast, where I seek and find the next level athlete. Today, we have Nick Herrera. He is a talent and scout evaluator based out of the Florida area, who works directly with high school athletes to help them gain real exposure and understand what it truly takes to compete at the next level. Hello, Nick. How are you?
How you doing, ma'am? Thanks for
Uh,
having me on the show.
of course, I'm doing well. So Nick and I connected through a mutual relationship with Nevin Sapiro, a strong supporter of University of Miami athletics and a close friend of my dad's. Through that connection, we are excited to bring you Nick onto the Ambii.Alert podcast. I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys get some insight about me, what me and Nick had to talk about today. So, for the first question, Nick, I have for you. So for athletes who may not know it yet, can you explain what a scout and talent evaluator actually does only like day to day?
Yeah, basically recruit all day, answer phones all day, connect with coaches all day long. I mean, I'm on my phone probably 24/7. It's a nonstop job.
Yeah.
So yeah, it has everything to do with recruiting, and I'm looking for talent. So yeah,
Yeah.
nonstop.
Yeah. It seems like, well, like you said, it is an everyday job, but
Hmm.
that is like having to be on your phone 24/7 and having to make sure it's not silent and just making sure that people are like actually like calling. That does seem like it's a little bit stressful.
Yeah,
So
it's a lot, but I love it.
yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
when you evaluate high school athletes, what are the first things you notice before stats even come into play? Like, is it
Their
there?
character,
Yeah.
their character. I watch these kids for a long time before I recruit them, because I
Hmm.
want to know what kind of person they are and are they mature enough,
Yeah.
um, stuff like that, and their work ethic. Can
Yeah.
they, are they there just, for the paparazzi and the, attention, or are they there because they really want to play football at the next level? So I can kind of figure that out, and the parents too. So the parents can ruin it for the kid. I'm watching everybody. So
Yeah.
before I go talk to that kid, I know pretty much everything about the kid.
And I tell younger athletes that all the time when I go visit schools or when I just see young athletes in my area. I'm just like, look, when it comes to playing at the next level, make sure you have a good attitude. Make sure you're not walking around, oh, I'm this big dog. I mean, you can be the big dog, yes. When you have that cocky mentality, in my opinion, it's not gonna really get you anywhere. Not gonna really get you that far.
Right.
And I've seen it too many times, even in college. I've seen it too many times. Athletes have that cocky mentality, and their future goes into a different direction that they don't even
Right.
think they would go into.
Right.
So I agree when it comes to character, even in high school, when it comes to your teachers, when it comes to your coaches, when it comes to your peers, your parents, always have a good attitude. Of course, you're gonna have your bad days, but make sure you have that good attitude on a daily basis.
Absolutely. It's very important.
Yeah, and I had to learn that as well in high school and in college. I've always been a good attitude type of person, but like I said, I've seen that with my own eyes, and I'm just like, I don't know,
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
So, what's the biggest misconception athletes and parents have about getting exposure?
I think the biggest is they think that everybody's gonna find them because they're good,
Mm,
and that's not true. You need help, whether it's from your coaches or someone like me, an advisor that has a lot of connections, but you need help getting your film out there. You need help getting your stuff out there.
okay.
So, that's what I would say the most.
So what got you into like recruiting and
Well,
scouting?
yeah, well, I played football. I played with some of the best athletes in high school. Um, So I loved it from the get go. Some of my friends played in the NFL. A lot of them played D1, so I would go support them, and I fell in love with it,
Yeah.
And I got the opportunity to go work for a recruiting company, and that's how it all started 11 years ago. And
Wow.
since I've been doing it, so um, yeah, I love it. So
That's great.
yep.
It's crazy where people come from. Like, what made people get into their actual field? that they
Hmm.
work into, and you being an athlete, that makes sense. So, and then you know a lot about athletics already off the bat. So,
Absolutely.
so how important is the game film? Like, what mistakes do you see athletes making with their highlight tapes when it comes to recruiting?
The biggest mistake I see with the athletes is the film is too long. Okay. The biggest thing they need to do is put the best 4 to 5 plays that they have, Amber, on the front of the film. These coaches are not going to watch 10-minute film. Okay. If you can wow them with your first 5 plays and get their attention, you got it. But if you can't in those first 5 plays, they're not going to watch the rest of that film. So
Wow.
that's the biggest advice that I would give the kids. Make your film great. Put your first 5 best plays that you have together right behind each other and let those coaches, wow them, because what makes you different than everybody else? So
Exactly.
first five
Exactly.
plays.
Wow. Okay, that's some great advice because I do see long film. Like I'll be looking like what skipping, like, okay, where am I gonna see the good stuff? So that makes sense.
Yep.
They're not gonna pay attention to the rest.
No, I got a lot of D1 coaches that are friends of mine that they have thousands of film to watch, hundreds of thousands of film, and they don't have time to watch the whole film. So they tell
Exactly.
me, Nick, we watch the first 5 plays, 4 plays, and if we see something special, then we go after them. So that's how
Mm,
it is.
okay, that's great
Keep it
advice.
short.
Okay, that's good. So what separates athletes who get recruited from the ones who don't, even when the talent is, the same type of level?
Exposure, and I think a lot of kids don't understand that, and that's where I come in, right?
Hmm.
I'm an advisor, but I'm also, I have a lot of connections, a lot of resources. When you've been in the business for so long, coaches call me all the time. I don't have to really reach out to, kids or coaches. Like, everybody comes to me now. So if they need help, they call me, and if they're serious, I get their film out all over the country, and I get them more exposure than anyone else. So, that's what it's all about. Nick Saban said it the best: exposure, exposure, exposure.
Hmm.
You got to get your film out so they can see your film. Nobody, just because you're good in your home area, doesn't matter. Everybody's good in their home area, right?
Exactly.
So no one's just gonna come see you, right? But if you got connections, or if you're with an advisor team that knows a lot of people, well then yes, you're gonna be in a better situation, and
Yep.
that's where I come in. So that's where my job comes in.
Okay. And
Yep.
I agree. I agree on that as well, Nick. I think that a lot of athletes, even the ones who are like out of college, who are trying to go like to the NFL, NBA,
Hmm.
CFL, XFL, they're just like, oh, I'm gonna do this on my own. It's best if you have a team. It's best if you have some help. A lot
Yeah.
of them want to, oh, I can do this on my own. I don't need the help. I don't want the help. But I've seen it literally. I live here in Charlotte, and I know some athletes on the Panthers, I know some rookies on the Panthers, and
Hmm.
I'm just like, they're like, it's hard. It's
Yeah.
hard. And they're at the top. They're at a different level, and they
Yeah.
have their own advisors, and they have their own management team and all of that.
Yeah.
So it definitely takes more than one. It's a
Yeah.
team effort.
The
So
kids, the kids who have an advisor and a team behind that advisor are the kids that are more successful.
that makes
Yep.
sense.
I mean, it's just the truth, because you got not just me working for you, but you got 5 other guys that are with me that
Yeah,
know everybody in the country. So, uh, you know, it's something that a lot of kids don't have. So
right.
it's
So
important.
so when it comes to high school athletes, do you think coaches get in the way of you guys recruiting or evaluating them? Or
Um, I'm gonna answer that honestly. Yeah, sometimes I think they do, but I've learned to kind of stay away from that and kind of
Mhm.
stay behind the scenes, and work with the kids and the parents. With some coaches, I have a great relationship that they send me kids and I
Yeah.
help them. Some coaches don't want the help. They think they got it themselves. So, and I respect that too. So, I got to go where I'm wanted, and I just go where, wherever I can help the kid. I'm here to help the kids, ma'am, and uh, I get offers for these kids, and I've been doing this for a long time. So, yeah, that's what it is.
So when it comes to social media, do you think it's helping or hurting the athletes? And how should the athletes be using social media to get their faces out there?
Social media is tremendously helping the kids. You have to have a Twitter. That is your resume for the kids, right? So
Mhm.
if you don't have a Twitter and you don't make your film, who's gonna see you, right?
Right.
So you have to have a Twitter, and when you have a Twitter and you send your film out, you can tag people like me, who I have, thousands of hundreds of thousand people who follow me and follow them, recruiting companies, 8,000 coaches from all levels. So these kids have to understand, when you're tagging me or tagging recruiting companies, not only do I see it, but the
Yeah.
whole country sees it. So the kids need a Twitter, okay? And it needs to be done professionally. Um, Try to keep the music off your videos. Try to have all the information you need, your GPA, all that stuff. So when the coaches do reach out to you or DM you, you're ready for everything. So
Like Twitter has all types of great things to it, business, fun, but mainly business. Twitter is just all around a great app, but when it comes to Instagram, it's totally different. So I
yeah,
get what you're saying when it comes to Twitter.
yep.
When I see athletes Twitter, you definitely you see a different side of them than you see on Instagram or any other app. So yeah, I agree.
Well,
Y'all
not
listen to that.
Not just that, right? So when you get a Twitter and coaches want to follow you, they can follow you, and now they can DM you. So now they have
Yeah,
access to you,
yeah,
right? So now you're talking conversations with the coach who's recruiting you, right? But
yeah.
some of these kids don't understand that, right? So, um, a Twitter is very important. It's probably the number one recruiting tool a kid can use. 100%.
That's great to know. I know, like I said back then, I literally had to email each and every coach, like every school that I was interested in. I emailed them, "Hey, I'm from Greensboro, North Carolina. I ran at Western Gifford High School." Just emailing each coach. I did that, but then when I heard about Twitter, I was like, "Okay, Twitter is something different. This is a whole
Yep.
different power tool."
Yep.
So that's great advice, Nick. So if an athlete listening today wanted to improve their recruiting chances over the next 30 days, okay, 30 days, what advice would you give them? And what should
Over
no,
the
what should they focus on immediately, actually?
Okay, over the next 30 days, okay,
Mhm.
especially if you don't have anything, you got to get your priorities in check with school first, right? Make sure your academics are in line, make sure your transcripts are ready, uh, make sure you qualify, right? Make sure you're ready to go. And right away, I would reach out to an advisor or a recruiter because you need help, right?
Yeah.
So, your GPA, I always tell these kids, you have to have over a 3. It's going to open more opportunities, more doors for you. The
Mhm.
higher GPA, the more colleges are going to come offer you. That's just facts. That's reality.
Yeah.
So, I tell these kids, school is important, super
Thank
important.
you. Yeah.
Okay? Like, you have to understand that. Without school, there's no football. So you have to make sure that your priorities are in check.
Right.
So, and remember, we're going for degrees here, right? Like, I tell these kids, look, we are going for degrees. I'm working hard for you. My biggest thing for you is I want to see you graduate. I want to see you earn a degree and play at the next level. Anything after that is a gift, right?
Yeah.
But you need that degree.
Like I always say, it's student athlete. You're student first, and then you're an athlete. I always have to remind people you're a student and then you're an athlete first. So when it
Right.
comes to your GPA, make sure you have a good GPA, y'all. Please go to school. Please get to class on time. Don't be a hooligan. Don't be doing the crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Just do what you need to do in order for you to get where you want to get.
Exactly.
So
That comes with the maturity. And the
Exactly.
character, like we were talking about.
Exactly. And I always tell younger athletes, when I was in high school, I've always been a great student. I always had a great GPA. But there are athletes and students that don't have that great GPA or that that good attitude at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
But I always tell them, try to focus, try to become a better person, a better athlete. Your sophomore, junior year.
Yep.
You don't want to wait until your senior year of high school. Oh, I want to get my GPA. Oh, I want to get my grade. No, it's not
Too
going to
late.
work.
Too
It's not
late.
going to work. It's absolutely too late. That year, your senior year, is just not going to work. You have to been putting in the work from your junior, sophomore year. Honestly, from your perspective as a scout, how should athletes and their parents go about thinking about NIL deals?
Okay. I'm gonna be honest about this. I don't even think they should be focusing on NIL right now. I think they should be focused on getting a free scholarship and a free education.
Yeah.
And in time, if the NIL opportunity comes, then you take it. But right now, everybody's journey is different. There's some kids right now out of high school that are good enough that I recruit, and they do have NIL money. And
Yeah.
uh, and so do the parents. The problem is everyone's got their hand out, right? So um it's a lot of stress for these kids, okay?
Yeah.
The one It's a lot. So that's why I'm telling you, you have to have a team. And when I say team, advisor, financial advisor, um like everybody has to be on that team, because
Hmm.
a 17-year-old kid with, let's say, 900,000, right? Or
Yeah.
more in high school, how can he handle that money? Correct?
Exactly.
So in that case, I think he has to have a team to help and guide him handle that money. So
Mhm.
do I like the NIL? Yes. The kid should get paid. Um because the sport, it is super dangerous, and they're all one hit away from not playing again, and it's
Mhm.
life changing, right? They can help, their parents pay their house, off. They can buy
Yeah.
land. They can buy land for the future. I mean, a
Hmm.
lot of good things can happen, but not everybody is in that situation where they can get the NIL in the bag right away.
Yeah.
Some of these kids have to wait and prove themselves. So that's where that stands.
I agree. And when I was running in school, there were coaches saying, we're going to recruit some kids from high school, but we're really looking at the transfer portal right now. We want to win. We don't have time to coach up a kid. We don't have time to do this and that. But like you said, I really think it comes down to the support you have. When you have a team, when you have other people vouching for you, you can get in those rooms, you can get on those teams, you can get that NIL money. You can get those
Absolutely.
scholarships.
Look at Miami. They got four true freshman corners
Yep.
that are all starters out of Miami
Literally.
high school. So yes, it can happen, and you can be mature. But those kids have teams, right? Those
Yep.
kids have financial advisors. Everybody's looking out for these kids.
Hmm.
Okay, so but yeah, it can happen. You can go straight from high school to college and start day one. I'm
Yes.
seeing it. Okay. So, like I said, everybody has a different journey,
Hmm.
but, everything's possible. The sky's the limit for all the kids.
Yeah, I agree. What's his name? They call him Baby Jesus on Miami's team. I was
Tony.
seeing, yes, Tony. I was seeing him play the other day, and I see him on TikTok, and he's 17 or 18. I'm like,
Yep.
what in the world? He's running over these 21, 22 year olds like it's nothing.
Amazing.
He's
Uh, I,
amazing.
I met Tony 2 years ago when he played Naples High School. And after the game, had an opportunity to meet him on the field. And
Hmm.
his maturity was second to none. Like, I've never seen a kid that young be that mature and that professional. I
Wow.
knew I knew right away he was gonna be a star. And then he reclassified like 2 weeks later, and he was 17 when he went into Miami. So yeah, that kid's gonna be one of the greatest Hurricanes that ever played at Miami, and he's gonna have a great NFL career. And
I agree.
I love the kid. Special.
I agree.
Hmm.
I agree, Nick. So, is there any other advice that you would give to young athletes or just athletes in general, female, male?
Yeah, keep your circle small, right? And if you have to ask for help, if you're dealing with mental health or a lot of pressure, go get the help, right?
Yeah.
Because it's tough. A lot. It's these kids are under a lot of pressure.
Yep.
And if you got to reach out, reach out. But I think it's very important that you stay on track, you keep your grades up, that keep your circle small because maybe some of those people have nothing to lose that you're hanging out with, but you got everything to lose. So,
Exactly.
you know, show me who your friends are and I'll show you your future. So,
Oh, that's a great saying, Nick.
yep,
That's a great saying. Show me
yep.
who your friends are, and then I'll show you your future.
Yes, ma'am.
It makes sense. And I totally agree on the mental health. As you know, I'm a
Yeah,
therapist. When it comes to being an athlete and having to juggle, trying to get into school, trying to focus on relationships, friendships, family, your sport,
yeah,
your personal life, it does take a toll on
yeah.
an athlete. It takes
Playing
a
on
toll on a
national
person.
TV. I mean, it's a lot. A lot of these
Hmm.
kids can't handle it. I've signed so many kids that's come back home that it just didn't work out for them.
Yeah,
So, it is what it is. Some
yeah,
people can handle the spotlight, some can't.
yeah. And like if it's meant for you, then it is. But if it's
It is.
not, it's not. But get the help if you need the help. At least give yourself a chance. If you need the help. Shout out to Red Bull and R2S for helping me sponsor today's episode and also helping me spotlight the next level athlete. Go get your Red Bull and go get your R2S. Do have to give a shout out to Red Bull and Related to Success athletic wear. Today we are supporting Red Bull and R2 Success. So if you guys could go out and get you some Red Bull or go to R2S and get you some gear.
I got you.
Thank you so much again, Nick. I hope to see you again on here. I
You're
hope that
welcome.
you get all like the biggest team out there, and when it comes to your recruiting team, I hope people come to you. So, only people in Miami, or you go all around?
No, I go all over the country, but
Okay.
yeah, Miami. Now that I'm with Nevin Shapiro, Willis McGahee, I got a really good team over there, and without them, I probably wouldn't be getting the exposure that I have because they've been
Yeah.
really selling me, and I owe it all to them. Really, they've been really, getting my name out there, and Willis believes in me,
Yeah.
and so does Nevin, and my career is taking off. So this is what I always wanted. This is my dream, and I've been waiting patiently for it.
Yeah.
And I think God has this for me. I truly believe that. And whenever my opportunity comes to go work D1 for a school, which it's coming sooner than later,
Yep. I
I'm gonna
agree.
take it.
I agree. You have a great attitude, Nick. You have a great personality, so I can definitely see that. And I thank you again for your perspective on how athletes should go about getting into college and just going about their sport anyway. But yeah, thank you again to our sponsors, Red Bull and R2 Success. If you enjoyed this episode, you guys, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with an athlete, a parent, your friend, whoever. And Nick, if you want to give yourself a shout out, you can to your Twitter, Instagram. You can go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me on the show. I want to give a shout out to my wife who's always supporting me. I want to give a shout out to Coach Griff from San Bernardino College, Coach Leroy from West Georgia, my friend Anthony Joaquin who's always helping me with recruiting. Everybody who's been in my journey, Willis, Nevin, all of them. So yeah.
Thank you, Nick. And
Oh,
so this
my
is,
Twitter is Herrera Recruits. So everybody follow me. Whoever needs help with recruiting, Herrera Recruits on Twitter.
and I'll put it on the screen, you guys. So like, comment, subscribe, share, you guys. This has been a great episode. Thank you again, Nick. And this is Ambii.Alert Podcast, where I seek and find the next level athlete. I'm your host, Amber Featherson, and we will catch you on the next episode. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much, Amber.